going to make a text project using this image that I got off the internet. So first step, I'm going to make a new file. File new. It's going to be something I'm going to want to print, so I'm going to make it print, and then let's just say for right now it'll be letter size. I'm going to hit the create button. Got a blank canvas. I've got this kind of low-res image I found on the internet. I'm basically just going to grab this image into here, and wow, it's really low resolution. That's okay. I'm going to hit transform. I'm going to hit scale. That's going to let me have just kind of a guideline for this image, because what I'm going to be doing is recreating the image using text. So right away, you can see that my picture is too big. I'm just going to go ahead and crop this. Maybe it'll just be smaller size picture, lower resolution. What I'm ready to do now is, let's close that one up. I'm going to get this ready because my goal here is to trace this with text. We're not going to actually use the photo, it's just tracing paper. So I'm going in the layer palette right here, and I'm hitting my opacity from 100%, and I'm making it about 20%. Now I've got essentially tracing paper. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go over to the text tool, and I'm just going to make some words here. Wonder Woman can save the world. Whatever you choose to put in your text project is really your decision here. For this project, it doesn't really matter. I just happen to be a fan of Wonder Woman. So I've got this image, and then I've got the words. What I want to do here is I want to rotate these words, Command T, shortcut on your keyboard, and then I'm going to basically scale them so that I can fit them over top my tracing paper so that you can see how my project will be. Let's just kind of shrink this down now. You can also access the transform tools by going up to your menu, edit, transform. I'm going to click warp, and that's going to bring up this little box up at the top of your screen here. And then I can just kind of add some, let's add an arc to this and see how that looks. And I should be able to kind of control this now by grabbing it. And my goal here is really just to trace this picture with 1,000 different words so that I can essentially turn off the tracing paper. So let's just kind of get in here. And I'm just going to type in some other words. The other way you can access this warping is you highlight the text here, and you go up to your handy text warp tools, which are up at the top of your screen when you're in the text tool. You're going to click that, and that's also going to bring down this kind of drop-down menu. And you can just, let's make this flag, and I can kind of make this bendy. I'm going to use this for her hair. So now I've got these words that say she is beautiful, and I want to go up and I want to rotate this, or Command T if you like keyboard shortcuts. And I'm just kind of, I don't actually care if you can read the words. The purpose of this is really just that you can create an entire project out of text and words, and eventually you can either turn off your underneath photograph, or you can make it really, really opaque, so it's just kind of a guide. Now you can see I've got two here. I'm just kind of duplicating it in my layer palette. I'm hitting Command T on my keyboard, and I've got a bunch of these little kind of she is beautiful. If I want to make my work go even faster, I can merge them over here on the layer palette by I'm shifting on my keyboard, clicking the layer, clicking the other layer, go to the drop down menu, and I'm going to click merge layers. Now I've got a layer. I'm going to duplicate that one, and I'm going to hit Command T. So now this is kind of me very quickly just putting together my text. Again, I care that we can sort of read the words, but I don't care that we can read the words that clearly. My goal here is to make a piece of graphic art using typography, so that when we look at this picture, we see Gal Gadot, the actress who plays Wonder Woman. We see her, but we see that she's going to be made out of text. That's our goal here. So I'm just kind of really quickly grabbing a whole bunch of these. If I want to, I can now take those and I can merge these layers. I can make a duplicate of this, edit, transform. Let's flip that horizontally. Let's hit Command T on our keyboard, or free transform. And then I'm going to just kind of come over here, and I'm just using she is beautiful words for all of my text in her hair. I'm just kind of duplicating it. That's a way to very quickly create this project just by kind of transforming. Now, of course, you're going to want to use multiple words, but to get the hair is fine if it's just this text. I'm just going to kind of make this small over here. I'm just kind of placing it in so you guys can kind of see where I'm going with this, right? And then I might need a copy of that piece over here. To get her hair thick, I can kind of angle it. So really, I'm using my type as a design element to trace over the picture. Let's save your work here so that it doesn't accidentally crash. It's always a good idea to do that when working. Now let's kind of zoom in here. I'm going to zoom in on my computer here, and I can see I need some eyes. Wonder Woman's eyes are very important to the detail of my project. So eyes tell a story. Oops, you can't see my words that I'm typing. So if you ever can't see words that you're typing, you can kind of zoom out, and it means you have to make the text box bigger. Let's make that text box bigger, and then actually I need to highlight it in order to change it. And now let's drop these down to about 10. And then this box here, I have to adjust my text box in order to really have control over the warp. I'm going to zoom back in now, and you can see kind of the tracing paper of Wonder Woman's eyeballs. And let's again, we're going to highlight this. We're going to go to, we just want an arc because it's her eyeball. So now there's her eyeball. I'm going to just kind of, whoops, transfer this, transform it again. Keyboard Command T or Option T if you're on a Mac. And I'm just kind of scaling this down so that it can fit her eyeball. And there you go, that's part of it. Eyes tell a story. And whatever other kind of words I want to add in here. Windows, oops, to the soul. I always like to kind of hide my little words in here. And then this is a size 10. I'm going to drop this down to a size 6. And then I'm going to make the text box nice and small. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to highlight the words. Then I'm going to turn this into a lower arch. I can just click the arch, but I can kind of bend it the other direction, like so. Now I'm going to again hit Command T, and I'm going to shrink this down, and you can start to see why I don't actually care that my photo is low resolution, because I'm essentially going to recreate the entire picture with text as my design tool, so that it doesn't actually matter if my original photo was kind of this fuzzy, yucky thing that I took off the internet. This is probably the one time that I will, be okay with you guys using a random picture on the internet. It's usually a really bad idea to do, but you can kind of see her eyeball here. And now I really need some text for her nose. So beautiful on the inside too. Again, I'm just gonna kind of grab some words. It's always sometimes people will put their own poetry for this project. Sometimes people will use song lyrics or inspirational quotes. Whatever really works for you is what I advise you to do for creating a text space. Now Command T, I'm just gonna kind of rotate this, and her nose, you can see, really needs some kind of contouring. So I'm going to go back up to that type tool here. Now you can shortcut this. If you go into your warp tools, edit, transform, warp, it's going to bring up the little box up at the top of your screen right here. And I'm going to say a fish might be working. And I can kind of just, well, maybe not. Nope, I'm going to change that into a flag again. And that's going to let me just kind of contour her nose and just kind of move this into position a little bit. You don't have a ton of maneuverability with this, but you have a little. So, and then I'm going to transform this. I'm going to make it shrink down a little bit. If I don't hold the shift key, I can kind of get these more unusual things. And then I'm going to apply this. So basically I can keep going and going and going. And I'll show you guys kind of my finished one in a little bit. Lips that speak truth. I'll put this here for her lips, and then again I might need to turn up the background image a couple times because I can't actually see it. There we go. and I can kind of see where I'm manipulating my type here, and so on and so forth. So I hope you guys get the idea from what I'm showing you here. Let's use the flag this time, and then I'm just going to kind of move this like that. I might need to kind of do something in the middle. So there's all sorts of different ways you can manipulate. If you kind of get in here and you play around with it, the bulge, maybe that'll help for lips, sort of. I'm going to click OK. One other thing that you can do if you're having trouble really getting the exact formation of your words here, which I kind of am having trouble doing that, so let's do something else. If I use the words lips speak truth, okay, right here, right? Let's get them a little bigger, and let's say I would like to manipulate them a little better. So let's just, here, we'll get this. I have to make my text box bigger to really get the feel for this. So then, if none of these text manipulation tools are working, you have another option. That option is to make a blank layer down here, and then shift-click your text. And you're going to tell Photoshop that you are no longer going to edit this text. You're going to turn it into pixel information by going here. You're going to hit Merge Layers. And now Photoshop doesn't see that as a text layer. It sees it as a pixel information layer. So now when I go into my Warp tool, Edit, Transform, Warp, I have the old-fashioned Warp tool, which lets me adjust each part of my text using the grid formation of the Warp tools, which is going to give me a little more freedom to fit the lips that I'm trying to do. So I'm just gonna, again, I don't care that I can actually really read these words. So when I'm done, I'm gonna go over here, I'm gonna click, hit apply, and then again, I need to scale this, Command T on your keyboard, and go in here. I can see I didn't do that great of a job. So again, let's zoom in, and what I can do is kind of refine this, edit, transform, warp, and again, it's allowing me to use the traditional warp tools because I have kind of turned my text into pixel information. So I will show you guys the rest of this after I put a little more work into it, but for now, this should get you started on how to do your very own typeface, okay? I'll be back in a flash.